Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Basketball has seen game-changing stars before, but few athletes have shifted the culture around the sport as quickly as Caitlin Clark. Much like Michael Jordan transformed basketball's commercial appeal, Clark is creating a new level of excitement around women's basketball. Her historic partnership with Wilson is the latest example, and the response from fans has been extraordinary. When Wilson released Clark's signature basketball collection, thousands of fans rushed to buy them. The basketballs reportedly sold out in about 40 minutes, revealing demand that went far beyond the traditional women's basketball audience. The speed of the sales immediately drew comparisons to the frenzy surrounding major Jordan releases, when fans would line up for days to get the latest products connected to the NBA legend. That makes Clark's Wilson collaboration more than another endorsement deal. It represents a significant moment for women's sports marketing. Clark has become one of the few.
Clark wasn't no one ever said there weren't ever great players before Caitlin Clark. There was never phenomenon, not in my lifetime, with women's basketball. And I went to UConn, so I've seen plenty of great players, but nobody's ever moved the needle in my lifetime like
female basketball players capable of turning her name, playing style, and personality into a product that fans actively want to own. Her impact also goes beyond merchandise. During her rookie season, Clark helped drive enormous increases in attention and attendance, while continuing to break records on the court. Her long-range shooting, passing ability, competitive mentality, and confidence have made her one of the most recognizable athletes in the sport. The Wilson collection reflects those qualities. Each basketball is designed around a different part of Clark's identity and playing style. The threes-up ball celebrates her remarkable shooting range, the kind of range that forces defenders to pick her up far beyond the three-point line. Another design recognizes her record-breaking performances, while the Crowd Maestro concept represents her ability to energize.
Unveiled Caitlin Clark's signature basketball, making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball.
An arena and turn an ordinary game into an event. That cultural influence is perhaps Clark's most important achievement. Fans who previously paid little attention to women's basketball are suddenly watching games, discussing statistics, buying merchandise, and following the league more closely. Clark has helped make individual WNBA games feel like major sporting events. At the same time, her rapid rise has created an uncomfortable contrast within the league. WNBA veterans have spent years building their careers and trying to expand the sports audience. Many have made significant contributions without receiving the same level of commercial attention. Clark's arrival has accelerated that conversation almost overnight. Former WNBA star Sheryl Swoopes, who once questioned aspects of Clark's transition,
is the first ever female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson. But just a heads up though, the entire collection on the Wilson website is sold out.
From college basketball to the professional level, has also acknowledged the enormous attention surrounding her. That shift illustrates just how difficult Clark's influence is to ignore. The comparisons with Jordan should not suggest that Clark has duplicated his career or achievements. Instead, they highlight something different: her ability to move the market. Jordan showed how a basketball superstar could become a global commercial phenomenon. Clark is demonstrating that a women's basketball player can create a similarly powerful connection between performance, fandom, and business. The Wilson sellout is only one example, but it sends a clear message. Caitlin Clark is no longer simply a highly talented rookie. She has become a major cultural force, and her influence could reshape the business and popularity of women's basketball for years to come. Caitlin Clark's influence is no longer something that can be measured only by points, assists, or records. Her impact is showing up in...
The designs are part of the Inspire series that Clark is doing in partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. The tribute ball pays homage to Clark's time with the Iowa women's basketball team, and the Dreamer Ball is designed to encourage athletes to pursue their dreams. Both are available in sizes 3 and 6 at select
sales, television audiences, sponsorships, and the way Americans interact with women's basketball. The numbers are becoming impossible to ignore, placing Clark among the most commercially influential athletes in the sport. Her rise is also changing perceptions of what is possible for female basketball players in the marketplace. For years, WNBA stars have worked to expand the league's audience and attract major commercial opportunities.
Not mess around with these basketballs. Geometric patterns form the number 22 in triangles, whose 3 sides nod to threes that fuel her scoring, and then the black and yellow is a nod to the colorways of the
eyes. Clark's arrival has accelerated that process dramatically. Some veterans may find her rapid rise intimidating, but others can see the bigger opportunity. Clark is bringing attention and money into a league that can benefit everyone. One of the most interesting parts of Clark's marketing strategy is how closely she connects with everyday consumers. Instead of relying exclusively on luxury brands, high-end stores, or traditional
It's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family.
Yeah.
Like the crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Ever?
Well, I don't know.
sports advertising, her merchandise has appeared in familiar American shopping environments, including grocery stores across the Midwest. At first, that strategy may have confused some industry analysts. Why would a superstar athlete want her signature basketball sitting in a grocery store instead of an exclusive sporting goods retailer? The answer is simple: accessibility. Picture a typical Midwestern family pushing a shopping cart through a busy supermarket. They are thinking about dinner, household supplies, and everything else on their
When you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark. That is a
weekend list. Then, between the everyday products on the shelves, they see Caitlin Clark's name and signature basketball. That is more than product placement. It is a direct connection with ordinary consumers. A billboard can be ignored. An online advertisement can disappear with one swipe. But a product placed directly in the path of shoppers creates repeated exposure in a familiar environment. Clark is putting herself where millions of ordinary Americans already spend part of their week. That approach fits her image remarkably well. Clark does not come across as distant or inaccessible. Her popularity has been built around her basketball ability, competitive personality, and connection with fans. By placing her products in everyday shopping environments, she reinforces the idea that she belongs to the
fourth most marketable athlete in the world. Yeah, not just female athlete, not just in the United States, but in the entire
same
world.
communities as the people buying them. That may be one reason her commercial success has moved so quickly. And the audience numbers tell an even bigger story. WNBA games featuring Clark have attracted dramatically more viewers than the league's typical audience. Her presence has introduced new fans to women's basketball, including people who previously had little interest in the WNBA. Suddenly, families are discussing game times, checking schedules, and following a player they may never have watched.
Very, very cool. Big deal. Good job, Wilson. You know they probably went and put this together. I mean, maybe Hy-Vee contacted Caitlin Clark first, but, you know, it's probably the type of thing Wilson is trying to do.
Before. That is the difference between being a successful athlete and becoming a cultural phenomenon. Clark's influence also extends to her performance on the court. Her combination of scoring, passing, rebounding, and defensive production has made her one of the most statistically impressive young players in recent WNBA history. Her deep three-point range forces defenders to guard her farther from the basket, while her passing ability allows her to create opportunities for teammates. But the larger story is what those performances mean commercially. Michael Jordan demonstrated that an elite basketball player could become much more than an athlete. His name became associated with shoes, clothing, advertising, entertainment, and an entire lifestyle. Clark is building a different version of that phenomenon for women's basketball. The comparison is not about claiming that Clark has already matched Jordan's.
Here, they just had this go, and this is the Hy-Vee Instagram account. Again, Wilson, Caitlin Clark, really smart, very cool video, lots of smiling faces.
Career achievements. She has not. It is about recognizing the power of an athlete to change the market surrounding a sport. That shift has inevitably created tension. Imagine spending years building a professional league, developing your reputation, and fighting for recognition, only to watch a newcomer become one of the biggest names in the sport almost immediately. It is understandable that some veteran players could have complicated feelings about the attention Clark receives. On the court, that tension can sometimes appear through physical defense and increased attention. Clark frequently faces aggressive coverage, double teams, and defenders determined to make her work for every possession. Some of that is simply basketball strategy. Teams know she can change a game if given space. But the larger conversation goes beyond defense. The debate is about recognition, opportunity, and money.
I've said it a million times, it's not breaking news, it's not brand new, but I really do believe Caitlin Clark is the next face of basketball. You know, they've been searching for that in the NBA. Who's the next face of the NBA? It's been LeBron and Steph carrying the torch. I think the next face of basketball, period, is Caitlin Clark.
Clark's sponsorship power demonstrates that women's basketball has a much larger commercial audience than many companies previously assumed. Her success could encourage more brands to invest in the WNBA and create opportunities for other players as well. That is why her rise should not necessarily be viewed as a threat to veteran players. If Clark attracts millions of new fans, those fans can eventually discover the rest of the league. More viewers can mean stronger television deals, greater sponsorship revenue, increased merchandise sales, and more visibility for every player. Even basketball personalities such as Charles Barkley have criticized the league's handling of the attention surrounding Clark, arguing that the situation could have been managed much better. His comments reflect a larger issue. The WNBA is adjusting to an unprecedented level of interest, and the league must figure out how to turn Clark's popularity into sustainable growth. That may ultimately become Caitlin Clark's greatest contribution. She is not simply selling basketballs. She is proving that women's basketball can create enormous demand when an athlete connects elite performance with authenticity, accessibility, and smart marketing. The question now is not whether Clark has changed the conversation. She already has. The real question is how far that change can go, and whether the entire WNBA is ready to grow with her. The WNBA was not fully prepared for a player capable of changing the financial landscape of women's basketball so quickly. Caitlin Clark's arrival has forced the league to confront
of some players being jealous. Yes, that probably exists.
Okay.
To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the
questions about marketing, player compensation, media exposure, and the overall value of its biggest stars. What makes the situation even more interesting is that Clark has not built her influence by demanding special treatment or publicly attacking veteran players. Instead, her growing popularity has helped create opportunities that can benefit the entire league. The increased attention surrounding Clark has contributed to broader conversations about better travel.
So long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves,
media exposure, and improved conditions for WNBA players. Those changes are bigger than one athlete. If the league grows commercially, veterans and younger players alike can benefit from increased sponsorships, television revenue, merchandise sales, and fan interest. That is why Clark's rise has become a mirror for the WNBA itself. For years, the league has faced challenges involving limited marketing, modest public exposure, and compensation that has not always reflected the value players bring to the sport. Clark's emergence has exposed the gap between the enormous commercial potential of women's
and the thing I love about her, she never says a word.
Basketball and the system that existed before her arrival. Consider the contrast. A rookie can generate enormous attention, drive ticket demand, attract major sponsors, and sell merchandise at a remarkable pace, while her league salary remains only a fraction of the money generated by her off-court opportunities. That does not simply raise questions about Clark. It raises questions about the entire economic structure of professional women's basketball. And now, some of the sport's biggest legends are recognizing what is happening. Michael Jordan's support for Clark carries particular weight because Jordan transformed the relationship between basketball, marketing, and popular culture. His career demonstrated that a basketball player could become a global brand and dramatically expand the business surrounding the sport. So when a legend like Jordan recognizes Clark's influence, it adds another layer to an already historic moment. The key issue is no longer whether Clark deserves attention. The evidence is already visible in the crowds, television audiences, merchandise demand, and sponsorship interest surrounding her. The real question is whether the WNBA can take advantage of this momentum. Clark represents an opportunity to modernize how the league markets its players and connects with fans. Her popularity could help create a larger commercial ecosystem in which more athletes become household names rather than relying on
people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there, and it was done in
one superstar to carry the entire conversation. That would be the ideal outcome. Clark's journey is still in its early stages, but her influence is already forcing people to reconsider what a women's basketball star can accomplish. She is demonstrating that athletic excellence, personality, authenticity, and smart business decisions can combine to create extraordinary cultural influence. This is bigger than a temporary surge in attention. It could represent a turning point for the sport. As Clark continues to face pressure on the court and expectations off it, her response will be closely watched. But if her rise so far is any indication, she appears ready for the challenge. Caitlin Clark is helping redefine the standards for women's basketball, opening doors for future generations, and pushing the sport toward an even bigger stage. The next chapter is only beginning. If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, drop CC in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.